Guys, it is 8 o'clock the next morning now, so my next customer has dropped off, and he's got this big F-150. I didn't realize it was going to be this big XLT version. Look at this thing. Yeah, I'm trying not to do these bigger trucks like this anymore, because now that I'm old and I've become very accustomed to having my lift, this vehicle is too heavy for the lift that I have. So I actually considering getting another lift that's heavier duty, and that way also I can kind of run two things at one time, which I typically do anyway, but I only use the lift on one of them. That is a consideration for the future. But this car is just going to be as basic as it can be. He's heading on a big trip across country. He wants me to check the brakes. He also has a turn signal light out. Just a note on that. He told me about the turn signal light after he dropped it off. You know, you guys who are professional mechanics can identify with this. I do get that thing where it's like, hey, can you do the brakes on the car? And you're like, I don't really do brakes, but all right, yeah, I'll do the brakes. And then they drop the car off and they're like, oh, and by the way, there's a really bad knock in the engine. If you could take a look at that too. And also, I need a new catalytic converter, so if you could do that too. Well, you know, you got to schedule things. So anyway, the turn signal light, not a big deal. What we're going to do is go ahead and check the brakes on this thing, but also while editing the video last night, I realized I made a mistake in the diagnosis on that CRV yesterday with the IMRC, the intake manifold runner control, and it won't affect the diagnosis. It is still 100% that solenoid. There is no question about that. But the way I tested the solenoid by blowing through it, I realized in the editing that would be a mistake. There's a little vent thing I noticed on the solenoid. So what's going to happen if you blow through it, whether you turn the solenoid on or off, you would still be able to blow through it actually, but it would channel to that vent or not outside of the solenoid. When that happens, you can still tell a difference for sure when that happens, and it didn't make any difference. But technically the way to test that solenoid would have been to remove it, put the hose on the bottom of it, and suck on the solenoid, apply vacuum to it the way that the car would, and do it in its normal behavior. It doesn't matter. It is the solenoid still. So the other way that I know is just because I was curious. I actually went to the car, took a screwdriver, knocked on the solenoid a bunch of times, actually got it to work. So we're still going to replace the solenoid, and I will show you the difference with the final fix. But it's really important when you test those things that you do it in the natural configuration. Also, sometimes even sucking on the solenoid, there's EGR valves that are like that too. Obviously, one of the tests with the old EGR valve, you just suck on the vacuum port for the EGR valve and the engine should die. Well, that's not always true on all EGR valves, especially a lot of Ford EGR valves still kind of have this bypass thing where you'll be able to put vacuum on the EGR valve, not necessarily notice any difference even with the engine. So just something to keep in mind on those things. All right, what we're going to do is get a jack, and I'm going to have to kind of do this like a grunt. All right, let's get this over with. All right, when's the last time I've used my jack stand? Holy cow. One thing I'm noticing, this vehicle needs an alignment pretty bad, and the tires are completely worn on the outside here. Let's take a look. So most definitely an alignment needed here. And we'll make note of that and let the guy know if he's going to be driving across the country, then my recommendation is I think he's going to really want to get new tires, because if he's about ready to hit the cords here on this halfway through his trip, then he could run into a situation. Rear wheel looks pretty good, but the tread depth is very, very, very minimal. All right, yeah, the alignment looks fine, but the tire tread is very, very, very questionable here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it still would pass, I think. So it's kind of interesting here in Colorado, and I guess maybe other mountain states have this too. There's two different tread limits, and one of them you can actually get ticketed for, and it's not that uncommon. I believe I think it's like 3/32 tread is the normal wear limit, and you can do the old, Lincoln penny head. You put the penny upside down, and if you can see the top of Lincoln's head alongside the tread, then it's too thin and you need to get the tire replaced. Well, if you're driving in the mountainous region in the winter months like it is now, it's 5/32, I believe. It's you need a little more tread requirement, and if you don't have that, you can get ticketed for it. And this, I'm pretty sure, is below the 5/32 or whatever that limit is. So we'll have to let him know. He really may strongly want to consider new tires, particularly if he's heading westbound. So we'll talk to him about that. I'm going to check the other tires real quick off camera. Yeah, his other tire on the other side doesn't have the alignment issue, but it is pretty badly worn. So let's just check brake here, and then also I'm going to check this side because I can also see maybe if there's like a bent tie rod end or something like that, bearing issue. Wow, this truck is heavy. You can feel it through the jack. Let's take a look here. All right, and let's check. Oh, this has a loaded suspension design. We'll have to cover this at some point about doing suspensions, but to check the ball joints on this, I need to jack the suspension up to take the spring pressure off on this design. All right, I'll be right back. All right, yeah, sorry, maybe I am a princess or whatever, but this is just stuff. I just don't do this kind of manual labor stuff anymore. I'm like old. All right. This is also why, a lot of mechanics have kind of limited career time. I've mentioned before, a lot of the tools that I have are from mechanics that have had to retire due to back injuries and things like that. Yeah, it's solid. Doing the diagnostics and everything, you just have a lot less wear and tear on your body and stuff. I mean, how much wear and tear was there on my body doing that previous car? I'm on my knees here and everything, and yeah, you would have a lift in a mechanic shop, but this tire is going to weigh 100 pounds, and you're doing that all day in and out. That has some effect. All right, let's see here. We need to get this wheel off. Now I'm worried that I don't have the right Allen socket for these cap bolts here. Here, this one. Oh my God, it's just barely too big, and I don't have one. Oh man. Yeah, all right, well, that means I'm going to have to take them off with an Allen block. I think when I go to the parts store today, I'm going to go ahead and buy another tool so that I don't run into this again. Actually, I'm not going to run into it again. I'm not working on trucks like this anymore. Actually, kind of lucked out here. This isn't so bad. 2 of them are functional. The other ones are just decorative. So you really only have to remove 2 of them. So that is cool. All right, and now we have wheel lock. All right, and I usually ask the customer, make sure that they have the wheel lock for me. I forgot to do that in this case. Now I got to go hunt for the wheel lock. I don't know where this wheel lock is. All right, yeah, no way is this fun whatsoever. Not at all. Looking in the door things here. And why, everybody? Why? Just need a little snack for the road a little bit later on there. Just a little. Why? Man, let's see, there's something here. That's a drink holder. All right, let's try the other side. So you gotta remember, this is what I do for fun. And this is not fun right now. Hey, is that a ShamWow? Wait a minute here. I think, no, it's a Rain-X swiper. Thought it was going to be the ShamWow. All right, once again, there's nothing here. Here's a Grease Monkey receipt. Did they maybe do any kind of tire rotation or anything? Nope. If they did a tire rotation, they might have noted that they didn't have a wheel lock. I already checked through here. All right, I am going to have to call this guy because without the wheel lock, and actually the other thing is, let's just do this. Let me head back over to the other side real quick. All right, so I called the customer. He bought the truck from his dad. He believes his dad may have the wheel lock. So, yeah, what a freaking waste. So the only thing is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look, maybe there's a chance the truck doesn't even need brakes, and I can look through the wheel and see if there is, excessive brake pad wear. Sometimes you can kind of get an angle and see that. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so if we look at an angle here, well, actually, we don't need to look any further. Look at that rotor. That rotor right, oh my God, the battery on my flashlight needs to be recharged. God. All right, luckily I have backups on that. Typical day in the garage. All right, that rotor is like sandpaper. So there is no way around it. This car needs brakes. There's the guy. Let's see if we've got our wheel lock. Hey there, what's the story? Okay, so we got no wheel lock. All right, well, let me see. Yeah, I saw the rotor on the right side. It is completely chewed up. We definitely need to do something here. So let me see what I can do to get these wheel locks off. But yeah, we got to get that wheel off. All right, let me. I'll give you an estimate before I do anything. But let me first see if I can even do something here. So I'll give you a call back, let you know how much it would be, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, buddy. Bye. You know, a simple brake job. Simple brake job. And by the way, maybe not even a brake job. I was thinking, it was just like, check the brakes. It's like, do you have some grinding noise? Do you have anything? It's like, yeah, I kind of hear something on the right side. And now he's like, got no rotor, so he needs rotors and brakes. Like this could be a whole weekend on this truck now, especially with the wheel lock thing. And it like totally sets you back. This is like not fun at all. Not fun at all. And that's why I really don't do stuff like this. But now I'm committed to it, and I should be committed. All right, we need to see if we got a way that we can remove these lock nuts. And actually, I think I have a way I can do it. So it just happens to be, and I'm talking literally, this is a week ago. Come on. I have a wheel lock kit here. Yeah, so this is a kit with all kinds of different wheel lock things, and maybe this will work. But the reason I got this, this is the first time I will ever have used this. And earlier there was a trunk I was working on where somebody was living out of their car, so they had the same thing. I needed to access the wheel lock, and they're like, oh yeah, it's in the trunk. And I go to open the trunk, and it really did look like they were living out of their car. It took me almost 30 minutes to get all the crap out of their trunk, and I did eventually find the wheel lock. And at that time, it occurred to me that if they didn't have the wheel lock, I would have lost all that time. I should see if there's some way, I didn't even know these existed, but is there some way that maybe there's some kind of kit for this? Because I'm sure real mechanics run into this all the time. And so I did find this on Amazon. It was surprisingly inexpensive. I want to say it was only like 40 bucks. And we're going to see if one of these will work. And it looks like this one might. So you got little key things in there. Let's give this a try. That one doesn't work. Oh my God. Finally catch a break. It's absolutely a perfect fit. Unbelievable. All right. We are in luck. Let me first of all just make sure that this works, and then I'm going to call the guy, and I'm going to... This is where, you could do some stuff here. I could be like, dude, you totally killed me, man. I'm going to charge $50 a wheel to remove these things. And this is no different than if I had the regular key. So this is where your integrity comes in. Integrity is when you do the right thing and no one is watching. I could just turn off the camera, delete this footage, just say this truck was in for the tail light, and then totally tell this guy. But the truth is that this isn't going to cost me any more time than what it did to look for the key and call the guy. So we're gonna just do this as we normally would. All right. So for these wheel locks, typically I don't like to use the impact on these because you just don't have quite the surface area. Oh, look at that. Totally works. All right. I'm going to call this guy and give him the good news. All right. And actually, you know what? Before I do that, let me just make sure there's nothing I'm overlooking, that there would be an additional expense, so I don't keep calling the guy. All right. All right, $30 wheel lock set for the win. Typically the way that I would do this is I would charge the guy $30, so basically it paid for the tool. It's typically what I would do, but I am actually so happy right now because this was going to ruin my weekend. Oh my God, they almost look new. The brake pads almost look new on this side, so there is something wrong with the other side of the vehicle. I think what I'm going to do is let's take a look at the other side, and I'll just condense this to one phone call for this guy. This side, though, is fine. There is nothing wrong here. Just going to check over, look for any loose tie rod end or anything, because this one needs an alignment. Really, this looks fine. I'm just concerned about that brake on the other side. He's got what most likely is going to be a binding caliper or something. And I'm sure he's worried about the brake lock thing. I'm going to call him and let him know what I found so far, and just kind of open the door that if there is additional expense, it won't be because of the wheel locks. Hey, my friend, all right, you are in serious luck here. My little toolkit had exactly the wheel locks, so I can easily remove the wheels, so you won't have any additional expense with that.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that's good. I removed the wheel from the left side of the vehicle, and I can tell you your brakes on that side look almost new. They look absolutely perfect. I believe when I look at the right side, you're going to definitely have some kind of a mechanical problem. Most likely, I'm anticipating finding a jammed caliper, and the caliper may be sticking closed and not opening or something. Not quite sure yet, but what I wanted to do is talk with you about how you wanted to deal when I find that, because typically I recommend that whatever you find on that side of the vehicle, let's say it's frozen brake caliper, my recommendation is to also replace the brake caliper on the other side of the vehicle so that you've got perfect balance between them. Some people are like, no, it's not a big deal to me. I just kind of wanted to get your feeling on what you wanted.
Yeah, no, whatever your recommendation is on any of that, go ahead and replace it. Yep, so like I said, whatever you feel is recommended, just like I said, feel free to do, you have open arms on replacing everything you need to replace.
Okay, yep, I'll go ahead and do that. What I'll do is I'll just text you what the total price will be when I figure out what's wrong. Obviously, you got to have it done anyway. You can't really drive the truck too far like that. So,
exactly.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to take advantage of you. Don't worry about it. So, we'll see what this thing needs. I'll text you how much it'll be, and we'll just go from there.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Matt.
All right, trying to give you guys a view, and I think this is about the best I can do. This is the normal smooth rotor material. This is where the pads are, and I can tell you it just feels like it's like 80 grit sandpaper. There's going to be no pad material. One of the things is that time is starting to become an issue now. I got started at 8 o'clock. It's already almost 10 o'clock now, and I've got 2 more cars today. And so with the filming, it just adds so much time. So let's just see what's wrong with this. You guys know how to do a brake job. I'm not going to film a brake job here. Vicky knows how to do a brake job. You can watch her video on it. What we need to do is get this caliper off. I cannot get over the amazing coincidence that after, 9 years of doing this, I just out of nowhere last week with that one customer decided it would be a good idea to just have a wheel lock kit handy just in case. And 9 years doing this, a week after getting the kit, this happens. Unbelievable. But life is all about the decisions you make and the preparations you make for things. You know, you got $4,000 in your bank account, you decide to get rims for your car or something like that, and then a big accident happens. Oh, woe is me, life hates me. No, it's the bad decision you made not to prepare if something happens. So now I get to finish this job instead of rescheduling this. Can't really reschedule it. The customer's got to go on their trip real soon. This could have been like a major thing. Like, hey, thanks for bringing your truck to me. I just wasted a whole day for you. Now you got to reschedule with someone else. There you go. Just glad to. I need a magnet tray. Just glad to help people out. And if I learn something and have fun in the meantime, all the better. Wow. Yeah, there is no pad on this brake. Come on out. This is not fun. Just come out. There. All right. Yeah, that would be a problem. All right, and that caliper is not pushing back in. And it is kind of interesting that it's only on the one side of the vehicle. But yeah, that will not push in. Let's take a look at the other side for comparison. First thing you'll notice, this rotor looks perfectly normal. All right, you guys remember watching bolt turning videos? Yeah, we're not going to do that today. Yeah, this you can already tell the pistons are depressed in the bore way more on this side. Let's see here. Yep, and they just push in without any effort. All right, calipers, rotors, and pads for this guy. I'm going to go and take care of that real quick. The timing kind of sucks a little on this because I'd like to pick up the part on the car that's waiting for that IMRC valve, and that doesn't come till 2. So that means 2 trips to the parts store today. Also got 2 more cars coming in today. Don't know what the deal will be on those, so I want to get this thing moving. The only other thing with this truck is the blinker light. So almost forgot. See, that would have sucked. I go and I come back and then I'm like, oh crap, it needs the turn signal light too. And then I got to go back to the store. So let's go ahead and address that right now. All right, so he believes it's this guy right here. So let's turn the brakes on here. All right, so we're going to turn left turn signal. Now it works. All right, so maybe it's a brake light. Let's turn the right signal on. Oh, no, I see what's going on. Okay, so we've got the fast turn signal going here. If we look over down the line there, you can see the flash pattern there. And then we make a left turn, and it flashes really fast. That's an indication that we've got a bulb out. What it is when this lights up, I can see from the other side both bulbs light up. Yep, this lower one is out. I made a little bit of a mistake here, didn't I? In that I should have pulled the car up further. I actually kind of forgot about this. Let's see, how do we get to the bulb? Oh, it's very easy. There's just 2 things here. Let's just do this, and I think I'm going to stop filming this truck. But looks like we just need a couple 10mm bolts. Pull this assembly out. And he is burned out. Right there, broken filament. Let's see, 3057K. I know I have some of these. All right, so all these bulbs are when I used to kind of do things going to the junkyard and getting stuff and all that. But now I just don't have time to do that anymore. And again, I just don't do stuff like that. This is a 3057K right here, isn't it? All right, that does it. Remove it. Maybe you can hear the faster turn signal. And now it's back to normal. All right, well, that was easy. All right, final test there. Both of them lighting up. Sweet. All right, so, hat's on backwards. So what do we got now? Coffee. Vicki brought me some coffee. So we got the taillight taken care of. We know we need to do some work on the brakes with this guy. So the next thing we got to do, I've got to look up and see what pricing will be. And I guess we'll just go ahead and take a look. All right, we are going to go to O'Reilly's because they take really good care of me. Actually, the car before this one was a referral from O'Reilly's. Yeah, we got no idea what that code is that you wanted us to check on the reader, but we got a guy who we recommend. And so they called me up, and as you can see, we're going to fix their car pretty cheap. All right, and O'Reilly's does actually give me a commercial discount as well. Again, like I said, they are great partners. Here's a front pad set for $62. We're going to do that. So what I'll typically do is I will just keep the difference in the discount price, and that kind of goes towards my payment for the job. Comes up to $5.55 for parts, and then I need to figure out what we're going to charge for labor. Let me show you the system that I have for that. Hello?
Yes.
What do you want to go out to dinner?
Yes, why?
What do you want?
I don't know why.
Like sushi or something?
Yeah, sure.
Sushi?
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Why?
you.
Why?
That's all. That's all. Sushi. All right. Okay, sushi dinner usually is about, with tip, about $140. So we are going to charge $140 labor. That'll be $695, and I like it, a little bit of odd pricing under the $700. And that is going to be about half the price as it would be if you took it to a shop or something. I get free sushi dinner and a video out of it. That will pay me back over the rest of my life, perhaps. Customer gets 50% discount, and Vicki also gets sushi too. So, good deal. I almost forgot. We got to charge for the light bulb. I'm going to charge $1 for the light bulb, and that'll bring it to $696. So let's text him the amount, make sure he's okay with that, and then, to be honest with you, we're done filming this truck, and we will look at the next car that comes in. All right, check it out. Nice, brand new, shiny rotors and calipers and brackets and pads. So we are done with this truck. I just need to write up a little bill for the customer. I also do that for my own records so that I can keep track of things. If there's any issues with this, then I can easily just pull him up again, find the receipt from O'Reilly's or whatever, claim my warranty. So I do keep records on everything. The other nice thing about it is when I went to get my parts at O'Reilly's, my solenoid for that Honda was already there early. It's right now just a little bit after 12:15, so what I'm going to do is get this truck out of here, bring in the Honda, we'll fix the Honda, then we got 2 vehicles I can unload. We actually have a third one that just arrived. All right, truck is out of here, and it is a little bit later in the day. Had to get lunch, run a few errands. You got to do the video here. Got to check video before you release a car, so if you miss a scene or something with the audio happened. So, yeah, time kind of goes by a little quick. A couple more things for today. We've got our Honda CR-V, so let's pop the hood and fix this guy. All right, and if I wasn't filming, I wouldn't even show this or be concerned about it. This solenoid is bad. Well, right now it's working. I kind of banged on it with a screwdriver earlier, got it to work, but we're replacing it because I don't trust it. But what I want to do is show you, I definitely made a little bit of a mistake in the way that I tested this. And what it is if you look, when I was editing the video, I noticed that you got this little kind of vent cap on here. And what the deal is with this is that the way the solenoid's going to work is when I blew through the solenoid, and I was able to blow through it, whether or not I put voltage here, what you're going to have happen is you're going to be able to blow through this solenoid anyway. And there's kind of a vent cap system here. So it's not like it's just through here, and then the solenoid either turns that on or off, so either you blow through it or you don't. It'll divert, actually. whether it goes through here or whether it goes through the vent. So either way, you're going to be able to blow through it, but you will hear and notice a definitive change as it is diverted either through here or here. The other thing is that blowing through it I did because it was accessible that way. The best way to test these is really through the way that it would work, and that would be through suction on this side. But what I want to do is just demonstrate this real quick. So it's not a misdiagnosis. The solenoid's bad. You're going to see that with the fix. But I just didn't want to give you misinformation on diagnosing this, because if you did this yourself and you blow through the solenoid, and whether you put voltage or not, you blow through it, you're going to maybe replace the solenoid when it isn't the problem. So I just don't want to have that happen to you guys. All right, there's our new solenoid for comparison. All right, we are going to... All right, and sorry, we are just kind of running out of time here, so I've just kind of got to go fast. But this part I'm going to show, because this is important for you guys to make sure you test these right. So what I did before is I took a hose, we put it up on this top guy here. I'm going to blow through the hose. Hopefully you'll be able to hear this. So you can feel the air also. It blows out of here. We can stop it there, actually. All right, but the problem is that when I put voltage to it, you would think then you wouldn't be able to blow through the solenoid. You will, but instead of the solenoid diverting to vacuum, it's just going to divert to atmospheric is what's going to happen on this one. So we're going to put this here. All right, now this solenoid works. And what we're going to do is, if you listen very carefully as I blow and I activate the solenoid, you're going to hear the air divert. And that's going to be evidence it works. I'm going to put the microphone here to make absolutely sure you hear the difference. Oh, well, now it doesn't work. Now it doesn't work. Hang on a second. Okay. All right, so you hear that diversion there. That was not happening at first. As a matter of fact, you saw it fail in real time right there. So this solenoid, absolutely bad. Going to put the new one in. All right, we are going to, we need to move the bracket over, don't we? Okay, I'm going to install this new solenoid. We're going to show you this car is fixed, and we're going to move on. Okay, and actually, just also wanted to show you down here, this is that second hose where solenoid goes through. I did confirm when running the engine that there is vacuum through that hose, no leaks or anything. So we should be good to go. Let's get this up here. The thing is, I'm really short on time now, but there's a couple things that I kind of feel like we should do. One of them would be to actually run that self-test to make sure that we compare it with the known desired position for that IMRC. And the other thing is that because these guys are getting emissions tests, like I mentioned, maybe looking and just making sure it's going to pass that test. I don't know if I got time to do both or either. First of all, I'm going to show you that this car is fixed. I guess I can't really 100% prove it's fixed. I can prove that that valve works now, though. We're going to go ahead and start the car right now, actually. And let's go. Hurry up. 2003. I think what we may do at some point is a diagnosis and understanding series on the IMRC and the intake manifold tuning valve. And we may do that self-test at that point. Right now, well, look at the voltage right now. Remember what it was before? It was definitely not 3.74. I want to say it was 1.24 if I remember. So just right there, we can see the fix. Going to go ahead and open, and we'll see this voltage change now. There it is. There's the voltage changing. All right, perfect. I'm calling that a fix because, again, we're doing what I would do when I'm not normally filming. I would love to learn that self-test. This isn't the time to do it. What I want is our O2S2. This is a 4-cylinder engine, so I really only need to look at that. And I'm not liking it. Let's graph that. And why are the scales I need to set this scale better. We're going to do 1 and 0. All right, max, what? Max, oh, is it, did I get this backwards? Yeah, okay. Yep, I did. All right, so we're going to do 0 min and 1 max. I did not realize that. There we go. And let's bring up the RPMs a little bit here. And yep. Yep, I am going to say that that catalytic converter, not long for this earth, seems to be pretty efficient during idle. Not when it's under load. So that's kind of one of the things I wanted to do. I need to bring that up to the customer, that I believe there's a good chance they could see a catalytic converter code pop up, and that is separate from what we did today. Hopefully they go ahead and they pass, and we don't even have to have that discussion. We need to get going on the last vehicle for today. All right, we are very productive today, but I have to kind of get this video over with real quick because we've got some plans later on and it is time to go. So I just need to finish one last thing. I just want to get a diagnosis for this truck, and then we're going to deal with it tomorrow. So this truck, I had to smile when this came in. All right, maybe if I do that, maybe that helps. Does that look familiar to you? We just did a video on this just a few weeks ago, a really, really awesome case study. This is the truck that had the mass airflow sensor that was incorrect. That was kind of throwing everybody for a spin, including me. But we did diagnose it, and the reason I'm smiling is because it's not back here for any kind of an engine problem. And I knew it wouldn't be. I've had plenty of contact with the owner since then. Not only was he saying how the truck runs better than ever, and it's just so much better performing. But I also didn't even think about it, but he did mention that it has way better gas mileage too, he noticed. And that makes total sense. So if you haven't seen that video, you need to check it out. But this is that same truck. And when you take care of people like that and they're happy with you, they will bring it back for other things they need done. And I very often find this to be a little bit of a phenomenon where people have kind of like a major thing that they're concerned about with the car, and then once they get that fixed, they want me to fix some kind of more minor things then, because now it seems like it's better investment to fix littler things now that their car's running good. So I actually see this pretty often. And what it is I never noticed it when the car was here, but he says he has some kind of fluid leak, and he just wants me to take a look and tell him what the fluid leak is, and that's it. Right, so that means, unfortunately, we probably have to get under the car. He says he sees it kind of more in the front, probably on the left a little bit, and we're just going to take a look and find a fluid leak. All right, once again, under the car. God, I hate doing this. All right, so somewhere in the front left. Also, if I think about it, we'll get the car on the computer and let's just check and see how those fuel trims are doing still. All right, well, I don't see. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's like way in front. I was thinking like oil pan stuff. There it is, right there. Yeah, that's a total live leak right there. Okay, and those hoses go. Oh, this is going to be an oil cooling line, I believe. We got oil filter. The lines go in right to the back of the oil filter. That is the only leak on this car. And they go back, wait a minute, does that go to the power steering pump? No, it goes behind the power steering pump. Looks like there also may be a little bit more fluid. Yeah, there is. These lines are leaking. That right there is power steering pump. And it looked for a second like it was going to the pump, but this is behind the power steering pump. That's definitely oil cooler lines. No big deal. Look how easy that is to replace, too. I may just go ahead and charge them just for the parts on this. All right, that's it. We're done. Cooling lines on that thing are going to be about $130. I think I'm just going to put them in just because that was so cool, that case study. And also, he's going to give me an elk steak. The guy does a lot of hunting, and I love elk. So I think that'll be a fair trade for me. This is a super minor repair again. So luckily, that means I'll have some time this weekend to enjoy. You guys will have some videos to watch here. Also, don't forget, got some new videos up on Schrodingers Box Quantum Mechanics. We got a really nice EVAP case study up there if you haven't seen it yet. And what else do we got? If you need more Schrodinger's Box than all that, we've got the Autel video site as well. I'll put a link to that. I realize some of you guys do not have access to that particular link because you're in different countries that cannot access it. Don't worry, I'm working on something. One way or another, we'll get you those videos as well. And then also don't forget your Schrodinger's Box merchandise as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I am going to just fix this off camera. No reason to film that. We've met our purpose here. And we also did the thing that made the weekend. We got a good check engine light diagnostic. That was kind of fun to figure out. So my weekend was a great one. I hope yours is too. We'll see you next time.